you know,
Welcome
recognised
back.
me and,
We're still
from then on,
driving.
it was just-
The
it
Queen
suddenly
is
became part of
still
my life.
Yeah.
becoming
Do you remember how Queen
the
was?
coolest queen
Oh, she was
the
on
two
the
of
face
us,
of this
I
planet.
was her first introduction, and I think she was a bit shocked.
Now that people aren't trying
I
to
was
like
very
kill
shy.
the queen
It's one of
and
those
king
things
all the time,
like it is today,
they can actually
where the
manage to
Queen
like
is
survive a
so
little.
open in the public and gets around a lot more. Then it was.
I wonder
we
who's
have
even
such a
next.
great
Isn't it
respect.
just more old ass people
She's a wonderful and marvelous
next?
and she rules us, you know, Britain today, and she's doing a bloody good job.
Yeah. Do you remember what she said to you?
Well, she asked me how I was and this and that, and I said I'm okay, Mum, I'm fine. And then that was it. I
I'm
turned
fine.
around and went back and,
I'm just meeting
and
the
that-
Queen.
and that was, oh, then she pinned the medal. She pinned the medal. Yeah.
Well, she's not quite as tall as you, so that probably wasn't.
No,
Did
it's
you have to
surprising. I thought she was a tall woman, but she's a normal sized girl.
Yeah.
And then she pinned the medal on me, and I turned around, went away, and I was met by my mother, who was there, and that was it. I just carried on with my life.
Yeah. Just want to finally show you a couple of pictures we've got of your past. A couple of things you'll enjoy watching. Just let me show you this. Recognise this?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Arriving 24 hours late from Korea, Private Bill Speakman, VC, King's Own Scottish Borderers, lands at Leiden.
That's when it all started with like people like you.
There he
wanted
is.
to know this.
Yeah. Handsome looking boy, that.
Yeah, yes. It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's the man.
Yeah.
He had one arm.
There he
a
is.
lovely guy. I thought we were
Look
going
at
to get
that.
a. Yeah,
They're all-
and that's where I lived.
They're all cleaning the steps for you.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Well,
Local
that's the way I lived there.
Bill
I'm just an ordinary person.
Look at you.
Yeah, but and that's what we do. The neighbours did. They kept a lovely
I've got
place.
to say, good looking chap.
Do you reckon?
Yup.
I'm a good looking chap.
The kids were happy.
Yeah.
Free holiday. Yeah.
Yeah, look at them all. Thousands.
God, I was nervous there.
In front of the town hall, there's a crowd of more than 3,000. There's a thrill to see the ordinary man, who proved himself no ordinary man at the moment of greatest danger. Here to
I
greet him
thought
is
this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah, I don't
No
want
more,
it.
no more VCs.
That was very nicely. We're going to hear a few words from you in a minute.
Not very much I really can say to you, Peter, because
Yes.
words just won't express my feeling for the way you treat me today. But there is one thing I can say, and it's good to be home. Thanks a lot.
Good to be home. Thanks a lot.
People seem really hyped. It's like somebody shot.
Let's just
whoop.
find the other one. I just want to show you
a
one more
grunt
thing,
in the
and then
head.
we'll let you go. This is
If I
actually
was
the investiture.
a
This is
brother.
the Queen's first investiture.
Oh man, that kid.
in the courtyard of Buckingham Palace.
I don't know
fresh from
what
the
we're gonna do
Queen's
with him.
first investiture.
I really hope
Our
he
three
ends up
received the
finding
military
like a group
And that's
of
the
like-minded
mayoress.
nerds
Look at you,
in high
Prince,
school,
That's the-
or he's gonna have a real rough time.
You're a foot taller than the rest, Bill.
Yeah, that's my mother.
Yeah.
And that's the
In
goal.
Britain's highest service award for valor to be more worthily earned.
I didn't know there was Arthur on
I should have shaved a little better. I'm still Nietzsche.
By Big Bill Speakman of the King's Own Scottish Borderers.
It's a lovely smile to finish with, Bill.
Yeah.
Well done. It's been a pleasure. Thanks for your time.
Well, I've told you what it was like, but an ordinary guy. Me, I'm just an ordinary guy joining.
I'm just an ordinary guy.
And this thing happened. It's like
No one-
You know what karma means?
That's a little weird. Like,
Karma.
no one joins the.
It's
You don't
just
you don't
like-
hear about a lot of people joining the army anymore. Like my grandfather was in the National Guard,
A bit rough.
and like the guy I was working with last was
Lovely.
in the
Well done,
army.
Amongst
Amongst friends.
great load of fellas here. They've all
But like,
done it,
I don't know anyone of my generation that joined.
Yeah. One text really sums it up, says, tears in my eyes. Let's Bill speak with 91 Victoria Cross, the first investiture of the Queen's reign.
This motherfucker's in the
Buckingham
wrong.
Palace on 27th of February 52.
Yeah, let's
Pathé
go.
gave us permission to play the archive footage, and you can see the video of my interview with Bill on the insured section of the website at bbc.co.uk/5live. Some of you
bbc.co.uk/5live-drive. No,
and from
if only.
a guy like
That would be very odd.
who loves the Queen, we thought
It's like, oh
we'd spend
yeah,
a
I'm
couple of
sponsored by the
minutes,
BBC
finding
in
out what
Canada.
younger people might think of the Majesty of the Queen, and indeed those who will follow her. So I'm joined by no less than 4 people. God, this is tell you, this program, we got cake, we got tea, we got 4 guests at a time. I'm not used to these kind of riches. So
Cake
here's
and
Wiz
tea?
now. We got
Fuck,
Barnaby,
I
good
want
morning.
cake and tea.
And we got Lucia.
If I stay up long enough,
and Neha.
there will be.
Yeah, good morning to you. You're holding your own
muffins.
microphone. The others all got headsets. I know what you've done. And Robert. Yeah, hi. Okay, the Queen. We'll talk to Lucia, but
And then apparently I'm going to go to the local TV
Gosh, I think
station.
the first thing is she's quite omnipresent.
Oh man,
Yeah,
I don't
She's
want
been
to do
around
that.
for all our lifetime, certainly.
I don't know.
Been around for my lifetime. I mean, believe it or not, when I was 5 years old.
Maybe it's just like one of those.
It's amazing, and I think she's
like,
always been such a steadfast reminder of British values in the most sort of
things that it's
idealistic
like,
way.
yo, I think this is harder than it is.
Not
Do
at
you think
all.
it's all a lot of nonsense, really?
For
No, I really
for like
don't.
this video stuff.
I think she's proud.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That sounds terrible.
Fab. Oh, that's all right. If that's what you think. Barnaby, what do you reckon?
Well,
I just kind of don't want to ruin it.
Someone who doesn't feel
Like,
like, the Queen.
I don't want to end up
everyday life, but then looking around,
getting
and
into it,
seeing that
getting
she
into a
has on the
video
country as a
creation
whole,
job,
it always
and
makes me
then
feel
like
very proud of
ruin
British.
this.
Yeah. See, I'm talking to
Oh,
people
this
who
is,
went
like,
to
completely
school,
different.
you know, I bet you've been carefully
That's a
selected
lot of
to
like
make sure you're
juggling
saying the right
people
things.
and juggling events
Say
and stuff like
something
that. This is
wild
just like
and something that's
sitting
shocking
down,
enough.
chilling, man.
Well,
Which is on purpose.
I mean,
We
personally, I
purposely
haven't been,
are as chill as
like,
possible.
a fan of the Queen in terms of put up the bunting, have a tea party whenever there's some national celebration. But I do have a lot of respect for the way she conducts her public duties domestically and internationally. But I think
It's dedication, isn't it, really? Dedication. I think that's what gets to most of us in the end. She really,
What, fucking
really does
passing me?
her best at her job.
Jerk.
Yeah. And
I need
for such a
I need the
long
GTA
period of
finger
time.
so I can just finger people as they drive by.
Whoever
put the
missed out
finger
on here,
in
must be Robert.
GTA
Your
5
name tag's a bit twisted up, so
as your
gonna show you.
like thing you do in a car when you don't have a weapon equipped
What do you think?
is
Robert?
probably the best.
I think he's
Like
a
that
great-
guy deserves a raise.
She's a great ambassador for the country, and she brings in a lot of money for tourism, and it makes people from other countries want to visit Britain.
Tracy, they're all so polite, aren't they?
They are, and I'm afraid I'm going to echo that. As
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
constantly arguing with my Republican husband that, you know, she does, as Robert said, she brings in an awful lot of.
It's really weird to hear people talk about
good,
politics. It's just something that doesn't
economics for the country.
doesn't
and,
appear
You know,
here.
we don't have the aristocracy and royal families in. Well, we're moving on a bit. Come on, Tracy.
Well, you know,
Which
I'm a
is
historian.
kinda-
Of course, you're going to expect me to be.
It's kind of
in
refreshing.
favour, particularly a royal
Like one of
historian, but I
the
do
one of the
think
viewers
it's,
on my Nico
enormous
broadcast,
at the moment.
he
Longest
does a
reign
political
ever. And
thing,
I'm lucky enough to work at Kensington Palace,
which is
where we're reflecting
Japan's
that
political system is
and,
bananas,
comparing
and
the,
it can't be
Queen's
helped.
reign with
But
Victoria,
like it's nice, it's
and
weird to
just
hear
resetting
about
her
it
place in history, which is undoubtedly
because in Canada, at least on this side of Canada, no one gives a fuck.
Robert, what about the ones to come?
Like
Well,
they're
I think,
like
William
people
and
might
Harry do a
vote,
lot for the
but
armed
it's
forces and especially inspiring young
it's more
people
of like
to take
a
part in more sports. So the Commonwealth Games, they're great ambassadors as well for the Commonwealth
Perfect.
Games. And having been in Canada,
it's
I know
more of
they're
like a
across
thing
the
you
Commonwealth
do
as
just
big
to
fans of the Commonwealth Games,
kinda
and they up there show
say
them
you
all
did
the
it.
time with similar view time as the Olympics. They're on TV a lot.
Maybe
and
it's
great to
just me that I
look
don't
up to these
like
slightly younger role models. I think.
the things that I want them to vote on,
Women used to dream of marrying into the.
or like that I want
Paul McCartney or something.
I don't even know if they're called congressmen. Like
Personally-
representatives
personally not.
to vote on are things that they don't understand, so they just vote however they're told. Like I want them to like fucking force internet people, like ISPs, to actually like
gazing them up all the time, taking pictures, watching, listening,
you know,
all the time.
define
Public
what
observation must be very wearing.
what their
Absolutely,
numbers
but
actually
also I think
mean,
they're
and
quite
like
unique in
give
the
proper
first
internet
generation
throughout
that we've watched
as much of the
take
country
on
as possible.
jobs in the real world
Yeah.
and be
Well,
royal at the
real-ish
same
world,
time.
anyway.
And defining what is possible.
Not quite well, yeah.
Because if you don't define what is possible and just leave it up to them, they'll just be like,
to the royal
well,
family to feel
you know,
like they have
you live like
similarities
3
with us,
meters
which we
away from the
haven't
cable.
seen
I can't
before.
run another
The
one.
current generation,
Which isn't happening to
royals
me, but
who,
is happening to people
you
like
know,
Wallace,
maybe made mistakes,
who
which
he
we
lives
love
like,
in our own way,
I think he
'cause
said he
they're
lives
not-
like
they're
down
not
the street
infallible
from good
humans,
internet,
they're just
and
like,
they
you know, you.
just haven't
And
run a
the fact
cable
that
down
the
his
royalty
road.
is no
Just
longer
such bullshit. I know
a
it's
symbol of
expensive.
aristocracy,
Like
it's
I
more
know that shit's
people
expensive, but when
like
you're
us
building
who
a
have
block, like a city block,
special role to
that
play
shit should be in
society.
there.
No,
Just
you think they're people
in
like
general.
Well, I wouldn't say they're exactly like me,
But they're just people.
yeah, they are people. But
I don't know.
in terms of the
I'm
young
so
royals,
angry.
I actually was in India during the birth of Prince George, and it was interesting to see. I was watching the live
Sounds like I need to get
coverage of that day, and obviously Indians might be a bit hesitant to
like
show a
4
lot of
hours
support for the British monarchy, but there was a sense of
I don't know how far we are
relationship between the two countries, and people were interested in it.
So to that extent, yeah, it still means quite a lot. No, thank you to all for it.
It's
probably next, because you're all
politics
for it,
just doesn't
next
make
time I
any
interview you, probably will be politicians, and you'll be coming from the House of Commons.
Maybe it's just because
for the meantime,
I'm a part of the group that doesn't matter.
Robert. And also got to say farewell to Tracy.
As
Thank
a
you very much
poor-ass motherfucker.
As you can hear from the bell ringing behind me, it's almost 11 o'clock, which means we're going to pause for the news. Among other events coming up after the news, maybe I'm going to get the chance to speak to Manuel Barroso about matters.
What could be on the news? Probably the exact same thing that's on the news last episode. The 5 Block Drive on Split Screen. We gotta rename that podcast when we bring it back from the dead.
5 Live Daily, the Garden Party. We're set up here on the doorstep of Westminster Abbey, where in the next hour a peal of bells will begin to ring out to mark the Queen becoming Britain's longest-serving monarch. We've been talking to people who met her during the 63 years of her reign. In the next hour, we'll try to get to know her better in the company of several people who work for Her Majesty, including one of her chefs, a photographer.
One of her chefs.
Back to business
Great.
MPs, first Prime Minister's questions after the summer break. We'll have a regular panel of MPs.
I'm Chef Steve. I made her some cake. She said it was good.
With Parliament, and you can join us. Well,
thanks, Chef Steve.
You've got a story. 05909 693. Text 85058.
The top news on 5 Live this hour. The President of the EU Commission has called for urgent action from member states over the refugee crisis.
And in sport, Alan Shearer joins the tributes for Wayne Rooney.
I've definitely caught the trailer on a bunch of corners because I'm driving too fast.
The head of the EU Commission says he wants to see 160,000 refugees resettled among member states as part of a compulsory quota scheme. Jean-Claude Juncker has been giving his
Shouldn't call it a
State of the
scheme.
Union speech. In which
Nothing
he
good
called
is
for bold
ever called a
action.
scheme.
Our correspondent Chris Morris
Oh, we're
is
almost
in
there.
Strasbourg.
Thank Jesus.
Something else the Commission is proposing is that there should be a new permanent mechanism to deal with further influxes. For example, if there's another big rush of people in over calm seas next summer, then there would be an automatic system for more people to be relocated across countries in the European Union.
Australia has also announced it will take in people who fled the fighting in the Middle East. The country's Prime Minister is Tony Abbott.
How are they going to get to Australia?
An additional 12,000 refugees from the Syria-Iraq conflict. These will be permanent resettlement places over and above Australia's existing humanitarian program of 13,750 this
Those
year.
cameras going off?
To 18,750.
That flicking sound?
Time.
Certainly sounds like
Events are
cameras.
being held
Maybe you don't
today
need to
mark
take
the
that many
Queen
pictures.
becoming the longest reigning monarch in British history. She's been on the throne for more than 23,000 days and has been served by 12 prime ministers. Dr. Martineri sang at the Queen's coronation back in 1953 and has met her many times since.
She is so devoted to her role, and that is very clear when you meet her. She's actually taking in everything. She doesn't miss anything.
The
It's a good
celebrations
quote.
will include a flotilla of boats on the Thames, tributes from MPs in the House of Commons, and an outdoor photograph exhibition at Buckingham Palace.
Oh man, we could have went to a photograph expedition.
Investigating the murder of former IRA member Kevin McGuigan in Belfast. Bobby Story,
McGuigan.
the party's northern
That's
chairman,
the
was detained this morning.
most
along with 2 other men.
Irish
the
name.
latest developments in a row over the alleged
I'm happy to
existence
have
of the
a
provisional IRA,
normal
which is
ass
threatened to
British
bring down
person
the
name.
power-sharing government in Northern Ireland. The
If it's a
chair
bit
of the
difficult to
Iraq inquiry,
explain.
Sir John Chilcott says he's received the last of the responses to his findings and will be writing to David Cameron soon with a timetable for publication. The process known as
All right.
maximisation has
We
been
made it.
blamed for delaying his report. The government's planning to change the rules
Skip
on when
the parking.
children in England have to
Satisfactory.
start school.
Yeah, I
The
probably
parents
bounced
of
the
summer
trailer a
babies
bunch.
will be able to choose whether to send them to reception classes at the age of 4 or 5. Lorraine Dearden is an
Nice.
economics professor at University
it.
College London.
How much cash do
It's
we
not
got?
that
Let's
the
pay off
policy
our...
is flawed.
I think I have a
There are
loan.
very good
Yes,
reasons
let's repay
why
that
you
loan.
might want to delay children going to school if they're born prematurely, if they've got special educational need problems. But actually, rather than
Did it.
solving the problem, this potentially exacerbates it. Because now, rather than being up to a year younger, they could be up to 17 months younger.
And British Airways passengers have been describing the moment they were evacuated from a flight waiting to take off at Las Vegas airport. They've reported hearing a big bang and seeing flames and smoke when one of the engines caught fire. With the sport now, here's Delith Lloyd.
Alan Shearer has joined the tributes to Wayne Rooney after the striker became England's record goal scorer.
let's do that.
Rooney became the first player in a three-line shirt to score 50 goals, and with it breaks Sir Bobby Charlton's long-standing record.
We got like 15 minutes left in this video, so let's
it's a fantastic achievement,
quickly go and run
should
something
be
else.
Very, very proud.
5 Live Drive continues.
Venus at the US Open to move within 2 victories.
I'd say after this break, but we don't.
Calendar Grand Slams.
I'm actually surprised you can't do that.
Italian Roberta Vinci
fuck.
on Thursday. Novak Djokovic will face defending champion Marin Cilic in the semi-finals later this week.
Yeah, I'm surprised you can't do that on YouTube. It's just be like, hey, yo, these are commercial breaks. I think you can actually, but
experienced bowler Ryan Sidebottom took
I know that people are not like viewing the ads, like, and that's fine.
Taken all 4 wickets. There's coverage on 5 Live Sports Extra, and the BBC and NFL have agreed a new 2-year rights deal to include live coverage of all 3 international series games at Wembley, as well as the league's world-famous showpiece event, the Super Bowl.
This is BBC 5 Live
BBC
on digital, online, smartphone and tablet.
In weather, plenty of cloud out there still for much of England. Well, for Wales and Northern Ireland, it'll gradually brighten up with some sunny spells coming through, but for much of northern England and in Scotland, the south and the east and a large chunk of the central belt, we're expecting to keep plenty of cloud throughout the day. That has an impact on the temperature, keeping it down to around 13 Celsius.
Make the 5 Live Drive interesting, but it's difficult.
Seeing a bit of drizzle at times. That leaves northwest Scotland with the sunniest weather today, already plenty of blue sky, and the warmest too, with highs creeping into the low 20s. Elsewhere though, with sunny spells developing, but most will end up in the range of 16 to 19 degrees. Tomorrow, more of us will get to see the sunshine. It'll be breezier, but it will feel warmer. Miller, 5 Live weather.
And a couple of problems on the road. First to Shropshire, the M54 eastbound. The slip road is closed at junction 4 due to an ongoing police incident, and it's expected to be closed until
watch out, don't get tased.
Morning, actually, until lunchtime. West Yorkshire, the M62 eastbound. The lane
actually, the job place I go to is right by the police station.
The turn off at Castleford because of an accident. The traffic's moving well on the main carriageway approaching that junction. It's on the slip road that takes the traffic.
I guess maybe I don't hate the design of the police station. I hate the design of like all the like, because we live in the north, lots of people like to think like, let's use lots of wood and stuff, and it's like,
here comes the day, the run and the play.
I don't know about that.
2015 starts Friday, September the 18th on BBC Radio, including right here on 5 Live.
On digital, online, smartphone and tablet. This is BBC 5 Live.
5 Live Daily with Peter Allen.
Very good morning to you. Welcome to the 5 Live Daily Garden Party. Yep, believe it or not, we have got Union Jack. Well, we haven't got a Union Jack tablecloth. I'm told we've got Union Jack napkins. That might be a lie as well, actually. But we've got certainly...
No Union Jacks here.
We've got some cakes, and we've got a whole range
we got
of
cakes. What if they were Union Jack cakes? Wouldn't that be awesome? What if they were tiny cakes? Then there'd be ladies for days.
We've been posting pictures there all morning. We're broadcasting right next to Parliament. So obviously we'll be crossing over to Parliament, I think probably in the next half an hour, because I heard David Cameron is going to have something to say.
I wonder what they're doing for the audio for this.
Within the next half hour. We'll also go there for Prime Minister's
I mean, you could run an RTMP server and just pipe good-ass audio. Like, you can pipe as much audio as you want.
Well, and we'll be picking up
why do I keep getting stuck in traffic? What's this trash?
With MPs ahead of Prime Minister's
I think this is the new...
3 MPs to talk to in just a second. But first of all, I actually wanted to talk
patch
from Jose Manuel Barroso, who was former president of the EU Commission. And before we do that, just bring you up to date with where we are on the big political issue of this week and I suspect this year, and that is the refugees who are flooding across Europe at the moment, and what should happen to them.
The president, are they trying to let me in?
The present president, Jean-Claude Juncker, says the EU should resettle 160,000, and that 160,000 should be shared out as a compulsory scheme among member states. He made the announcement as he gave a State of the European address in Strasbourg.
We are proposing a second emergency mechanism to relocate a further 120,000 people from Italy, Greece and Hungary. This has to be done in a compulsory way.
Asylum seekers be allowed to work from the moment they arrived. So as I say, we can talk to, very fortunate to be able to speak to Jose Manuel Barroso, who was
I like how, I think the first 5 live drive we did, they were complaining about all of the immigrants. Now they're like, yo, maybe we should just let them in.
It's a good plan. I mean, it's important that everybody contributes. We can, of course, have some exceptions in terms of specific situation of the country, but the idea that everyone contributes to this effort makes sense. I will not use the word compulsory, but I think it makes sense, and that Europe should be showing some solidarity in this very, very difficult situation.
I mean, David Cameron has made plain.
Don't need the windshield wipers. It's not raining.
Nothing to do with the quota scheme.
Oh, it looks like it
he's got his own scheme, that we're not a member of the Schengen zone, and that remains our position. What would you say to him?
Well, there is the understanding in Europe that today Britain, also because of discussion about membership of the European Union, needs some kind of, let's say, specific arrangement, so I would accept that.
I like how he always says, let's say something, when he means, like, Greece.
Well, by the way,
yo, Greece is fucked up.
I mean, a land of liberty and freedom, and also showing humanitarian, let's say, position towards these refugees, because it's a tragedy, and I think everyone should contribute. I've seen just some announcements made by the Australian Prime Minister. So if the Australian Prime Minister
I have no idea where we're going.
is showing this willingness to receive refugees, it will be a pity that in Europe...
Sorry, we'll just keep driving. 5 Live Drive.
We
Never
are
stops.
so close to the situation that we don't show the same level
Also,
of
now we have to watch out because
There
we
is
fucking
an
flip
essential
over because we're so
problem here,
light.
which is, I suspect, going to be encountered by Germany, that if you make it plain that refugees are welcome, that asylum will be offered, then you get a lot of people seeking asylum. You know, isn't that an essential part of the problem, that the 160,000 that Mr. Juncker's talking about is just not going to be anywhere near what is required in the end? The more, you know, it sounds inhumane of me to say, but the more you offer, the more there is demanded.
Exactly, that's why it's so difficult. But let's tackle this, let's say, more emergent situation about the 160,000, because I also believe that the problem we're going to live with for some time. It requires long-term measures also in the regions where the conflicts are happening, because in fact this is the reason why they are coming here, is because the situation in those regions are awful. But at the same time, we have now to respond to the more urgent situation, and so I understand there is this risk, and that's why I think we have to be realistic. We cannot accommodate everybody in Europe, that's quite clear. We have in some of our countries extremists and even xenophobic movements, and so it will be a way of reinforcing those xenophobic movements now if we have the doors completely open. But I think something has to be done, so it's a question of finding the right balance.
Unfortunate.
And it seems to me that 160,000 for all European countries is certainly doable.
Yeah.
I think we'll let you go early at the 5 Live Drive, and
membership of the EU? I mean,
you know, we'll pick it up somewhere when we have more time to start another drive, and we'll find out what's going on. Happy Queen Day, everybody. Unless it's not the Queen Day anymore, because this is going to be recorded and not live streamed. Anyway, this is Civvie for SplitScreen for the 5 Live Drive, signing out.